Hello everyone, welcome back to Survivor Talks with Mike. Today we'll be covering Survivor 43, Episode 3. Back to a normal length episode, and it didn't seem like they were effective with the time in this episode, so we'll be able to get through this pretty quickly. We start at Vessi, we get a recap of Cody's immunity hat and the last vote. Jesse is concerned about Noelle and Dwight, but feels okay since his alliance has the power. Dwight and Noelle discuss what happened. They are now aware of how Jesse is playing. We go over to Baca, where Gabler continues to get worse physically. The girls would like to get him out next, but he has that immunity idol still. They discuss with Sammy. Ellie is going to try to convince Gabler that his idol has expired. Sammy didn't like that they thought Ellie was closer to Gabler than him, so he goes behind their backs and tells him what they are planning to do. Gabler plays along and acts stupid. We go over to Coco. It's James's birthday, and he wants to find an idol or an advantage. Carla ends up being the one to find the Beware advantage, however, but she leaves it since she's in a good spot anyways. We go over to Vessi, where Nneka tells us about the charity work she's interested in and gives us some of her background. We then go back to Coco. After talking with James for a bit, Carla decides she does want that advantage. It's the same one Cody got. So for her to get the beads, Carla goes around trading other beads and her earrings and whatever she had on her to trade for the other player's beads in order to make a bracelet. It's really impressive how smooth she is about going through all of this without raising any suspicion, and she manages to get her immunity idol without anyone knowing that she has one. We then go to the challenge. Gio sits out and looks around the sit-out bench, but there isn't anything to find. Noelle takes her prosthetic leg off to swim, and she does very well in the challenge, but Nneka and Jesse struggle on the puzzle. Baca and Coco finish first, sending Vessi back to Tribal Council again. Baca gets to choose who goes to Risky Rock. They send Noelle from Vessi, James from Coco, and Owen from Baca. Over at Vessi, Dwight feels that it has to be Nneka now for another poor challenge performance. Nneka feels like she let everyone down, but it has to be Noelle since she isn't in the alliance with her and Cody and Jesse. Cody and Jesse discuss which direction they should go. Jesse would have a hard time voting out Nneka because she reminds him of his own mother, and we get more of a background for Jesse. Over at Risky Rock, Noelle gives us her background and is very open with the other two. They all agree to work together at the merge, so James and Owen agree to not risk their vote, allowing Noelle to get the advantage. We then go back to Vessi, where Noelle returns to camp and tells everyone they can search her. She doesn't have anything, but really she hid the advantage in her leg. She received a steal a vote, which she shares with Dwight, so if they feel like Jesse is going against them, they'll use it. We then go straight to Tribal Council, where Jeff asks how confident everyone is. There's a bit of discourse in the scale everyone is using, but once they get on the same page, everyone except for Noelle seems to be confident. Noelle still doesn't use her steal a vote, however, which told me that someone convinced her that it's going to be Nneka. At that point, I was convinced it was going to be Nneka too. And sure enough, Nneka is voted out 4-1. So it definitely felt like we missed out on certain conversations there. So my thoughts on Nneka: she seemed very nice and genuine about the causes she supports, and she made a good alliance, but her lack of ability in the challenge just made her too much of a liability to keep in the tribe. My review for this episode, despite being shorter, felt like it wasted a lot of time between recapping what we just saw in the last episode with Cody's hat and digging through Gabler's bag, and then also with all the background packages we got. We've already gotten to see lots of background for Jesse, and we got even more in this episode, along with the backgrounds for Nneka and Noelle. It seemed like we missed out on important conversations for how the vote would go. There was still some good in this episode, like watching Carla just absolutely dominate the Coco tribe with her social game. I give episode 3 a score of 5 out of 10. My predictions going forward: I think that for the Vessi tribe, they got stronger in challenges without Nneka, but I don't know if that will be enough. So if they do go back to Tribal Council, they are in an interesting spot. Dwight has positioned himself very well where, unless he messes up really bad, he should be safe. Noelle should be safe through using her steal a vote, but she could still end up blindsided if Dwight plays her, though I doubt that would be a good decision for him to do that, as Jesse and Cody seem to be closer at this point than Jesse and him are. On Coco, it doesn't seem like they're going to lose anytime soon, but Carla is in total control of that tribe. But if they do go to tribal council, I still think Gio is most likely voted out. As for Baka, Ellie really hurt her position in the game this episode, but it's really up to Owen, who seems like the swing vote. I think that he'll end up going with the guys, though I wouldn't be surprised to see Ellie voted out next week, though I'm still hoping that somehow they might trick Gabler into misplaying his idol for Sammy and then vote out Gabler. That'd be a cool play to see. But that's all I got for this episode. It wasn't the best episode of Survivor and definitely the weakest so far this season, but hopefully they step things up in the next week. Thank you for watching. If you like to hit like, if you want to see more, hit subscribe.